We are a day early this week. We are normally on live on a Tuesday, 6 p.m. I've got birthday celebrations this week, hence why we are on Monday at 6 o'clock. Hiya, Chris. How you going? How you doing? Sorry, should I say? How you going?
I was going to say, pre-happy birthday, you old bastard.
I'm joining the 35 club of you now, mate. So
it's not exclusive.
We've got quite a busy show this week. It's not just UFC boxing. There's been Bellator. There's been white-collar boxing with a certain Jake Paul and Ben Askren, which we're going to have to cover because one of our guys that comes on and comments, Brett Thomas, will want to speak about that. So, yeah, we've got loads to talk about. I think it's perfect to start with the boxing, Chris. I think, Demetrius Andrade beats our fellow Welshman, Liam Williams, for the WBO World Middleweight title. But you know what? I've got to be fair to Williams. He got rocked in the second. And he came back and he lasted the 12 rounds. He had quite a bad cut above his eye as well, Chris. What did you take away from it, mate?
Do you know what? I've not watched either of them fight before, so obviously I'm learning from fights you're putting in front of me, sort of to watch. I thought Andrade was fantastic in the first, the first 5 rounds. I know Williams caught him in the second, didn't he? Rocked him. I thought though in the later rounds, Williams just seemed to be walking through everything on that. How you pronounce it? Andrade or
they say Andrade, but obviously when we talk about Brazilian fighters,
Andrade, isn't
it? Yeah. But the commentary team on the UK and the US one were calling him Andrade because I thought it was Andrade when we previewed it last week. But yeah, Andrade.
We'll call him Andrade. We'll call him Andrade. Yeah, I thought Williams in the later rounds was trying to push the pace. You know what I mean? Walking through, you can see that Andrade was getting a bit tired because he did throw a lot of heavy punches, didn't he, throughout the whole of the fight? You've got to give props to Williams because, I mean, like I say, in the first, say 5, minus the second round, he was getting lit up. Those uppercuts from Andrade were horrendous.
As I alluded to last week with Andrade, he's very good defensively. He'll wait to pick that shot, won't he? But he kept his distance for the most part. But I think if Liam Williams had have landed with more volume, it could have been a different fight. But not a bad loss in the slightest. Andrade's one of the top boxers, but he's going to have to go up against your Canelos, Charlo. He's turning around and saying Charlo doesn't want the fight, but that'll be a huge US tear up if that happens. But I think Liam Williams can move on from this and get some big fights as well. It's not the end of him. He's only lost 3.
No,
he's
I don't think the loss. Definitely, and I don't think the loss is a hammer blow for him, because he did go out there and he did, do as much as he can, and he didn't whimper, did he? He could have easily, after that 1-2, is it in the second round when he got dropped? He could have easily missed that count. Did he get about 9.9 seconds? Oh my
days! I thought he was done. I thought he was spent. It's typical of UK people, that gutsy, hard, tough to break down. And my days, my only bugbear in the fight was Andrade constantly holding. Why was the ref not breaking him up? The ref was soft. It was happening all the time. He didn't like it. He didn't like it when Williams was coming onto him and landing. He was straight to. He boxed lovely. And Andrade when he was landing, but that clinching and holding was getting on my nerves. The ref was soft. Come on, break. It's like, no, you need to tell him to stop doing it. It's like, I didn't think it was fair, but
sometimes that goes about in boxing though, because you get a lot of people, don't they, that obviously kick off about the whole hugging situation of boxing.
That's it, man. So yes, Andrade will move on, whether it is carrying on at middleweight or he goes up to super middleweight. That'll be, I think he quite fancy Billy Joe Saunders as well, but we need to see what happens on May the 8th between Billy Joe and Canelo. Moving on, Chris, UFC Fight Night main event, Robert Whittaker, now 24-5 against Kelvin Gastelum at middleweight, 17-7. So what did you think? I'll ask you first.
Got my pick wrong, didn't I? I thought Whittaker was going to get Gastelum out there between the rounds of 2 and 3. props for Gastelum to stay in the whole fight. I just thought Whittaker was in complete control, used all his arsenal. I mean, the leg kicks as always were fantastic. His straights, he nullified Gastelum. But Gastelum did get a lot of lucky shots, not lucky, but a lot of licks in per se. But I just thought Whittaker looks so on form.
I think
he's man with a rocket up his arse at the moment as Whittaker.
He used that jab to distance him so well too.
Yeah,
I noticed. Yeah. I took that away. I think he's a fantastic fighter. I think if Izzy wasn't around, he'd be champion for a long, long time. But I just think when you've got someone on the elite level as Izzy, it's just a shame, really, isn't it? Because he's fantastic, Robert Whittaker.
You don't know what kind of Izzy we're going to get back down at middleweight after the Wachowicz fight, do you? Really?
What a perfect way to segue there into that one, the damage he took.
And you just don't know what kind of fight it'll be the same. I mean, his first, mixed martial art loss, isn't it? So, some people can take it different ways, can't they? Some can get better and some can sort of fold. I think Whittaker against Izzy is going to be a complete different fight than it was in the first. Don't forget, when Whittaker came back against Izzy, he wasn't the same person. And he said he was burnt out, and yet this Whittaker seems to be back to his best. Like I say, he's got a rocket up his arse, and he's looking absolutely fantastic. And look at the people he's beaten along the way.
Oh my days! It's a roll call. It's a who's who. Carry on, mate.
Your Darren Tills, your Jared Cannoniers, and obviously this should have been Paulo Costa against Whittaker, not Gastelum. But obviously Gastelum Fedus is stepping up for the fight.
Absolutely.
But Gastelum's still a name. Gastelum's still beating some big names. Yeah. So he's rocking off these people now, and I think the momentum at the moment is in Whittaker's corner. And it'll just be interesting now to see how the fight between him and Izzy pan out, and hopefully we'll get it this year as well.
103 landed to Gastelum, 64 landed on strikes, and 4 takedowns from Whittaker as well in those 5 rounds. So quite the performance. Showed all his arsenal, encapsulated everything. Where do you see Gastelum? Like Whittaker's obviously going to be knocking on the door for another title shot. Where does Gastelum? Who's for Gastelum now, Chris? Who do you think?
I picked one for him. I went through it, and I saw a lot of fights he's fought before, and a lot of fighters in the middleweight currently got fights coming up. I did look at Jacare, because Jacare's been on I think it's a 3-4 fight losing streak. I thought that could have been a decent one to put them together, but he's got a fight booked as well. So I thought, and this probably won't get booked, but I thought it'd be a good test for Khamzat Chimaev, because he's returning in the summer. I think him and Gastelum, if Gastelum's okay to fight again, I think that'll be a pretty good test for the pair of them.
They can pencil that one into the diaries, Chris. Absolutely, that'll be good in the summer. In the summer, that's perfect, man. Absolutely. So, Robert Whittaker stakes his claim that he will be getting another title shot at some point.
Definitely.
It's not the end of the road for Kelvin Gastelum. Fantastic fighter too, can't knock him. But when you're coming up against the best, it's very hard. But moving on. It was a white-collar boxing event. I like to refer to it as shite-collar boxing. And Brett, one of our commenters who comments most weeks, he's a big fan of the Paul brothers. And Jake Paul obliterates Ben Askren in 1 minute and 59 seconds. Right hand, just a flush right hand. Askren wobbled. He got up to his feet. The ref wasn't having it. He called it off. It was a win for Jake Paul. I was annoyed. But you did say this. Here's Brett. Hi, Stu and Chris. Jake Paul knocked down the so-called MMA fighter, 19-2 record. Ben wasn't in his league. He shouldn't have been boxing. Jake needs credit. He smashed guys now. Give him title shot. Not a chance, Brett. If he goes in Tommy Fury, give him Tommy Fury then, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. And Tommy Fury's not had that many pro fights, but he's not going to beat Tommy Fury, Brett. I mean, you can concur off that one if you want. Logan Paul has said his fight's still on with Floyd. Logan then could end up being back in WWE. Yeah, could happen, absolutely. I think Floyd will go down for him to make it exciting and do a rematch, which makes huge money too. Chris, you've said it yourself, mate. They draw money through their internet following, their socials. I don't particularly like him. Logan Paul was okay at WrestleMania, that little stint he had. I'm not too bothered about that, but this pro fighting, it's just bananas to me. What do you think?
Where do you want to go with this? and I said this like ages ago that Ben Askren was going to tank against Jake Paul. Jake Paul is, yes, he's maybe fought Anderson Gibb, Nate Robertson, Deji, KSI's brother. Okay, he's fought, if you can say a legit fighter, but at the same time, my argument here is Ben Askren has been retired for 16 months, had a hip replacement 6 months ago, isn't a boxer. And exactly. You can clearly say
You said this last week. You said the way it was going to go. To be fair to you, sorry.
Yeah, I said it would be a quick knockout. Jake Paul has got the basics, and I think he saw the basics between someone who, can carry and parry a jab to someone who is cowering and they get a 1-2 over the top. And most normal boxers or an actual striker would know how to block from that. Unfortunately for Ben Askren, he's now an extra meme after his Masvidal knockout, really. Okay, he walked away with $500,000, which, for a couple of minutes, even a minute work, is it? Easy for him. Jake Paul, should he get a title shot? No. Jake Paul can sit the fuck down because if he's calling out the likes of Nate Diaz and saying you're going to finish Nate Diaz in 3 rounds, kiss my ass.
Just make that fight. Give him. No, I want to see him suffer. I want to see him. And Brett, I know you love the Paul brothers. That's fine. It's just an opinion at the end of the day on my end. But give him Nate Diaz, Chris. Let Nate Diaz wipe the floor with him.
He's too big for Nate Diaz. Don't forget. You know what I mean? Jake Paul, what he weigh in at 190? Ben Askren weighed in at is it just below 190? Ben Askren's at 170. Yeah. So again, it's a mismatch already because the size difference. Yeah. Ben Askren looked like he just come out of a family barbecue at the weigh-ins. I mean, hats off for Jake Paul because he has to beat what's in front of him. He asked for the fight. He asked for an easy fight. He asked for Dylan Danis next. Dylan Danis is an absolute monster in jiu-jitsu, but even worse than Ben Askren, has absolutely zero striking.
Exactly. Get in there with a boxer, then come back to me. This is what I've said all the way along.
I have to disagree with Fury, his brother. Oh, go on.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Now, the only thing I'll agree
at the end of the day
is the YouTuber market is huge and it's massive, and they are like a power force in boxing at the moment because of the swell of followers Jake Paul, Logan Paul have is astronomical. I had agreed that it probably would make more money because of the followers of the Paul brothers personally. But I wouldn't put Tommy Fury in there because I think Tommy Fury has also fought a load of bums.
He hasn't fought anyone of note yet. I've got to be fair, but at the same time, it's the Fury name. People, I think it'll bring people in personally. I know.
No, it would. I totally agree with you.
3.3 million next to what Jake Paul has following is minuscule, but at the same time, you put Fury, you find everyone's starting to get to know him. They know it's Tyson's younger brother. But I do agree. He hasn't fought anyone noteworthy as yet. They've just been dipping his toes in, getting him ready. So yeah, I'd take your point.
I mean, I have a lot of respect for the YouTubers. Massive respect to watch enough of them. I think everybody does. And I get where Brett's coming from if he likes Logan and Jake Paul. Personally, if I had my way, I'd do KSI versus Jake Paul because in the world of YouTube, and hopefully Brett would agree with me here, that is the fight to make because that is the money fight. KSI is the unquote champion of YouTube. He has beaten his brother. They were supposed to fight. There was a lot of beef between KSI and Jake Paul, which, like I say, it'd sell. But on the other hand, if you want Jake Paul to have his head clean knocked off, there is only one man for the job. And you know who that is? Francis Ngannou. I'm done.
There you go. I think that's perfectly ended there from Chris. Yeah, perfect way. Yeah, Francis, give Francis. That's it. So yes, Jake Paul, much to the chagrin of some people, beats Ben Askren. Chris predicted what was going to happen, to be fair, and he moves on. And let's see if he actually faces a proper skilled boxer next time, because that's what he's got to do. He's got to improve it. He's got to face a boxer. You know what I mean? Picking, wrestling. Askren's wrestling's fantastic. Can't take that away. Can't take that away from the guy. 19-2, as we know. But yeah, moving on. We are going back into MMA, and it was the Bellator light heavyweight Grand Prix quarter final. Nadim Nemkov, the light heavyweight champion at Bellator, the title was on the line too, took on wrestling standout and former UFC fighter Phil Davis. Chris, I'm going to let you. The floor is yours.
Well, I kind of think, right, before we break into Nemkov and Phil Davis, because we've missed 2 fights already, we just pull it back a bit. And we go back to Bader and Machida, because obviously they fought a few weeks ago. I don't know if you've watched the fight.
I've not, and I feel bad actually because we previewed this weeks ago, and then we haven't covered it. But I'll let you carry on.
This is why I thought we'd go back in.
Good idea. Good idea.
Bader obviously went by a unanimous decision. Machida looked okay, but for a 42-year-old, it did look fine. You know, I mean, he was getting in some good leg kicks, body kicks, head kicks. He was troubling Bader, but Bader superior in the whole sort of say the wrestling side of things.
Absolutely.
And the grappling.
I think he was good in UFC with his wrestling. Sorry,
until he bumped into John Jones. But he basically, in a way, it's like Machida succumbed to Bader's wrestling, and Bader just beat him up on the ground. Bader then advances. Then we go to the other fight on the Bellator card just gone: Anderson versus Yagshimuradov. Obviously, Yagshimuradov is the newcomer. Fight was, I wouldn't say it's much entertaining. It was more of the same again. It was Anderson controlled the whole the cage side. I was going to say octagon then, but it's not. They call it a cage. So he had a lot of cage control, used his wrestling. And at the end, he finished the fight with a ground and pound. Again, advances. Now we get to Nemkov versus Phil Davis. Phil Davis, Nemkov. Personally, I thought, we spoke before, just before we came on, but disappointed in veteran Phil Davis as he's been in the octagon with the likes of Rashad Evans. He's fought some of the best. He was very disappointing in this. I think more personally, it would be the case of Nemkov's straight jab was completely disorientating him, and it was disrupting everything that I think was in the head and the plan for Phil Davis. During the whole fight, we dropped Phil Davis as well. I think it was in the first round, maybe the second. I'm not 100% sure. I quickly watched it.
I think it was second, Chris. To be fair,
second.
If memory served, yeah.
But I just think at that point, Phil Davis was. I just didn't see that he was the same person. He just looked like he was a bit petrified because he couldn't take him down, couldn't control. There, Nemkov obviously keeps the title. He advances, but it'd be interesting for Nemkov in the next obviously phase of the Grand Prix, because obviously we've got Bader versus Corey Anderson in the other half. He's got the job now to face the winner of Rumble versus Romero. And I can't see him, especially if it's Rumble Johnson, poking jab in front of a big beast like that. I can't.
That's the last thing you want to do with him. And, as we said before, these guys, they had many of them had their careers in UFC as well. They've come over to Bellator. I think it's been solid. I think it's been solid the way it's been put together. I know that match, Nemkov and Davis didn't really hit, the particulars. But I'll say it to you. I'll put it to you now. Phil Davis, standout wrestler. He's got the wrestling background. Mm-hmm. Why did he not try and facilitate a bit of wrestling against Nemkov rather than standing and striking? I know you're going to know the inner workings of this one.
But I think it was the straight jab. It was the jab that was, I think, shocked him. I don't think he really looked into Nemkov's. Just a straight jab. It was a simple jab, like Robert Whittaker was doing to Gastelum. On Saturday night or Sunday evening or Sunday night, even for a Sunday morning. Again, I can't get my days right here. It was that. I think it was because it was constant, and every time he went in, and you could see he wanted to take him down, but obviously that jab just came in straight, constantly, and I think it just put him off. And I think he just looked at it and think, I can't do it, and I think he gave up personally. Like I say, it's a poor performance from Phil Davis. I expected him to. The title is on the line here. He could have been the champion before he got into the final if he went to that night.
Which I like. I like the fact the title's in there as well. It just gives you that. It just gives you that. Yeah, like why? That's a brass ring if ever there was one. It's not just to win the tournament. You're going to end up with the title, or Nemkov retains it. But I think that's cool. I think that's a good. It's great that they do that.
Yeah, no, it's different, and they've still got like Bellator keep the Grand Prix how they've had it previously. Obviously, the Pride did it, didn't they? Strikeforce did it under Scott Coker when Scott Coker was the president there. Obviously, UFC did it many moons ago, but obviously you're done with the whole Grand Prix thing. They don't do that sort of thing. No, it's still interesting, and I think Corey Anderson, Ryan Bader fight. The battle of the UFC alumni are on the one side, aren't they?
Absolutely.
And Corey Anderson's looked really decent since he came into Bellator, and I think it's probably a new lease of life for him. Same for Bader when Bader went over there. Nemkov, obviously, I haven't watched 100% a lot of fights of him, so I can only say what I've seen, and I've only seen a couple of fights. But again, he beat Bader for the title, and he did it emphatically. So he's still a one to watch. The only problem with him is, like I said, Rumble Johnson or Joel Romero are next for him.
It's not easy in the slightest.
No.
Either one of them guys, absolutely. But yes, next, mate, I'm going to talk about our man from the UK, Paul Daley, taking on Awad, and he absolutely rallies with a wild TKO of Awad. And Daley's been around the Strikeforce. Obviously, he's been to Bellator. He was basically sacked from UFC years ago, and I was always wondering. I was always wondered how he was going to get on. And his 60th fight, Chris. His 60th fight, man. So, I'll put it to you. The floor is yours.
Yeah, listen, Paul Daley has been a fantastic pioneer of the UK sports. Came from that solid gym in Nottingham where you had the likes of Dan Hardy come out of it. Paul Daley has one of the vicious, well, I'll say vicious. It's like I said the F word there. He has a dynamite in his hand. And you've seen when he was in the UFC in his younger days. Unfortunately, had that spat with Koscheck, which obviously got him sacked out the UFC. But he has some great fights in Strikeforce's fight against Nick Diaz for the title was absolutely amazing. He could have finished Nick Diaz there, but Nick Diaz, as we always know, the Diaz brothers just don't stop. This fight was absolutely insane. Hamasi came out. Yes, that's his second name. Shoot, by the way. He came out like a thunderbolt and dropped Daley immediately. I thought Daley was done, and then just on top of him going, Daley got back up, got dropped, come down, and it was just like that for the first round. Daley was absolutely all over the place. He was literally doing an amazing chicken dance, should we say, along the cage of Bellator. But somehow, some way, as they probably say, he's a widely veteran now, isn't he, really? He came back in the second round and started doing his own strikes. And like I say, he's got a dynamite right hand. He caught Hamasi flush against the cage, then hit him with two vicious knees, dropped Hamasi. And then as Hamasi went to kick him, he catches Hamasi's leg and just kicks him with an uppercut of his own.
Oh, my God. It was brutal. It was like perfect with that leg kick, I was just like, oh, my God. Set it up so well. But, where for him now? Where for Paul Daley going forward, mate?
It's hard because at this point, I thought if he lost this fight, I think he would have retired. I think he's come out and said since the fight, it's a case of what makes sense next for him. I don't think it's anything in particular for him because he's not going to get a title shot. He's not going to, break into the top. I don't know how they do if they do rankings, but if we say they do rankings, I wouldn't say he's in around the top 5. I think for Daley, I think it's like just fights he can get the big fights. Maybe just keep his legacy. I would like to see him and Venom Page rematch again. That fight was close.
It was close. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see a second fight between them two. It sells. It sells. Like it's a perfect. It'd be great to see them come back, man.
It'd be nice. It'd be nice. Again, it'd be nice if they could get it in the UK as well.
Absolutely. Hopefully, going forward, maybe next year, hopefully we can start thinking about doing stuff on UK shows because they've done quite a lot of shows in the UK, haven't they, over the years? Bellator. They've come over quite a bit.
They're gobbling up all the UK talent quicker than I'd say UFC are personally. There you go. Then we could say Ross Houghton could fight Paul Daley. They're in the same welterweight division, so that could be a call.
I'd say. Go on. No, it's all right.
No, I'm all right.
I think also, mate, having Mike Goldberg on commentary Fantastic.
Wasn't it good to hear? Wasn't it good to hear?
Fantastic. And he still speaks how he did in the UFC. You know, he's not changed his commentary style or anything. Was John McCarthy on analysis? Am I right in thinking that? Yeah. Brilliant.
The only crap thing here is that I'm sure you must know the news that they're dropping Mike Goldberg when they, I think, when they start a new deal.
Why?
When they start a new, they want Ranello. Ranello.
I like Ranello. I like Mauro.
Yeah. Ranello, Josh Thompson, and McCarthy are going to lead the commentary.
It's having a bit of a shake-up, aren't they, on commentary? And
it's just a shame for Goldberg.
So I think we will go to break and see what Powered 4 TV have got on offer on demand. Quite the repertoire of content there. Powered 4 TV, wrestling, interviews, so much stuff on demand. Sign up.
Yes, you shall.
And I think it's becoming a weekly occurrence now because developments are happening with Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury getting this signed, sealed and delivered. It is starting to gather pace, Chris. And they have said it will take place in a full indoor arena, 20,000 fans in attendance. I was hearing today, Eddie Hearn's come out and said they could both do the ring walk at the same time. I don't get that one because they're going to want to come out to different music and stuff. I don't think that's going to work. But he said we need to make it different. But your thoughts? And also Gareth A. Davis there tweeting earlier about it.
Yeah. It's got to happen now, isn't it? I think it was all the power play, wasn't it? The whole with John Fury, like you've only got a couple of days, and if it's not done, we're walking. Fury needs to fight now. I think it's all a power play, wasn't it? I think just keeping everybody intrigued and still wanting the fight, keeping a hype train going for the fight, hasn't it? Really, it's good to know that they're there to a point now. They can say they've got a destination, they've got a venue. All we need now is a date.
I think it's going to be in America. I do, because indoor arena, 20,000, it's going to be in Florida or Texas. I don't even think they'll take it to Saudi Arabia because it would have probably been outdoors. You know, they would have probably done it in an outdoor capacity. It leads me to believe, I could be wrong here, leads me to believe, I think they're going to go stateside with that first fight. And then second fight, as we've said before, get it over here.
It would be nice if they could do that, like, for the fans at least.
But so much, at least it's developing now, you know, after John Fury saying, they're not getting it sorted out. I think Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren are obviously, you know, working tirelessly now to get it done. And hopefully we're going to see it in about 3 or 4 months' time. If not,
well, let's hope so.
They're saying about the Olympics, aren't they? Because Rob McCracken's obviously with Team GB at the Olympics. So it's probably going to be August. I would think it's going to be August, mate.
It's still a good time. Oh, July, August. You know what I mean? All they have to do is name the date, don't they? And people are going to lose their minds over it. You know what I mean? Ticket sales are going to go through the roof. They could put this at Christmas Day and it'd sell. It would. This is the biggest boxing fight, and I'd say in our generation.
Absolutely. It's gonna do record. It'll do record numbers.
Yeah.
But whether it'll be Mayweather money, I don't know, but it'll do. I think buy rates and stuff like that will be very, very, very high, and the price point as well. That's still the discussion, isn't it? I wonder if they will go into that £30 bracket over here in the UK, which we've never paid before for pay-per-view.
I can't see them going any further than 30 quid. I can't, because they've got to also realise, you know what I mean, people are still in a pandemic, people are still furloughed, people have lost their jobs. They have to be kind to fans, as you see with those greedy effers over in football.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to look after your fans.
Absolutely, absolutely. So hopefully there'll be more developments. It seems to be by the week at the moment that it is gathering pace. You know, the stones are rolling and it's gathering pace. So we will keep on that in due course in current times, and also in future episodes we will be on that. And I think our final segment before we get into some comments, it is a huge bumper card. It is UFC 261. We're going to preview it, and we're going to open with the main event, 3 title fights on Sunday morning our time, Saturday in the US of A. And it is Usman versus Masvidal 2. Chris, once again, the floor is yours.
What can I say? Where do you want me to start?
Wherever you like, my friend. Let's
start with my complaints of this fight. It's been going on for how many weeks now? Shouldn't be happening, but it is. Here we are with our fight week. The countdown is on YouTube, so go and watch that as well when you've got some free time.
I love the countdown shows. Really well done.
Personally, I just see this fight is going exactly the same way it went in Abu Dhabi. I just see Usman doing what he does best, is take him up against the clinch, use his strength, take him down, beat him up, and maybe use that lovely new straight right hammer he's got using again. You know, I mean, he's just learned to use. He's not going to stand with Masvidal. That'd be stupidity to stand with Masvidal. But then certain fighters, aka John Jones, do like to do the unthinkable and beat fighters at their own game. I just don't think Usman's got the striking skills of Masvidal to do that. I just think he's going to get him out there. I think this is a massive grudge fight now, because obviously Usman has asked for this fight because of Masvidal's shit talk. Masvidal's had a full camp, so after he loses his fight, he can go away now and leave that spot he's holding on to, and someone else can get it who's actually going to fight. I see Usman absolutely clearing the floor of Masvidal, and I'd like to think he'll get this done, and it won't be a decision win. It'll be a straight carnage, and it'll get him out there before the 4th round.
I'm with you. I think I can only see an Usman win. Masvidal will be in his 51st pro fight, which is incredible. Again, we're saying about Paul Daley's numbers, but it's all to do with damage and age. You know, it's all, you know, they have all these fights, but, you know, he's been in some wars as well. Usman at 18-1, obviously, he's been fantastic. He looks unbeatable at present. It's going to be hard to see anybody at welterweight. I think it's going to take the crown off him. I think we could have like a Stipe Miocic kind of title run maybe for Usman.
What you would want to say more so GSP.
GSP, yeah, probably not the best because he lost it, but yeah, a lengthy title run, all the same.
I can't see anybody in the top 50 that's going to beat Usman unless he has a bad night, like a bad night at the office, and gets caught. He's going to be champion for a very long time. You mean, again, I'd like to see Leon Edwards get the rematch against him, because they had such a close fight on the lead up to Usman getting a title shot. It was quite close, but obviously, again, wrestling evaded in Edwards in that fight, because Usman's just a powerful wrestler, but utilises it perfectly. He knows how to bully fighters and use his strength. I just think Usman's here to stay at welterweight, and I think it's going to take someone with astronomical skill set to beat him.
Perfect. And we have 2 ladies' fights for world title honours. It is Valentina Shevchenko taking on Jessica Andrade. Chris, Shevchenko 19-3, Jessica Andrade 21-8. I think I've got a funny feeling where you're going to go with this, but yeah, how do you feel? How do you feel this one's going to go, mate?
It's going right. It's going straight to Valentina Big Shevchenko. I just think she's a bigger, stronger athlete. I just think she does things a lot better than, let's say, Rose Namajunas did against Andrade when she was. I think she's gone from upper weight, isn't it, to down weight. I think it's the utilise of the outside punches that Shevchenko does. She's fantastic with her grappling. I'm not saying Andrade's a slouch on the ground, because she's bloody not. It's going to be a close fight. I think, Andrade is going to come in there and swing wildly like she does. Whether or not she can catch Shevchenko is one of them. I think, maybe it could be a case of Andrade could win maybe the first 2 rounds and Shevchenko just takes control and then uses the grappling aspect and just beats her up then for the next 3 rounds. It's entirely possible. I can't really see a finish. I think this goes all 5 rounds. But I think Shevchenko is going to win this dominantly.
Perfect. Yeah, she's a great fighter as well. Watched a lot of Shevchenko over the years. I don't see it going. I'm following suit, Chris. I just think Shevchenko's dominant, and I can't. See. Andrade's a good fighter, but I think it's just a step. It's a step up. It's that elite level in the ladies in the flyweight division, and also another ladies title tilt. It is at strawweight. Weili Zhang taking on Rose Namajunas. They've both fought Joanna Jacek as well. Weili Zhang put an absolute beat down on her in that fight when she took on. And then obviously Rose Namajunas as well. She's got a win over Jacek, hasn't she?
She's got 2 wins over young Jacek.
2 wins, 2, right. So the floor is yours again. And I'll chime in.
No, it's fine. I've had to sort of really sort of put a lot of analyze sort of the fights in this because it's hard. I've been reading a lot of people saying what they think, and a lot of people think this is going to be a close fight. I don't think this is going to be a close fight. As much as I love Rose Namajunas, and I do, I think she's incredible. She's come a long way. She's got bags of talent. I just think Weili Zhang, this is much more powerful, cleaner puncher, faster striker. She's wicked on the ground. I just can't see how when I look at all that and I write it on the wall is what's Rose Namajunas going to do to Weili Zhang that she hasn't seen before.
What do you think? What would she have to do to get through? Because that girl is
she's a beast, man. She's a beast.
Very good. Flying the flag for China as well.
Definitely.
They really in more recent years, they wanted that, didn't they? A top end Asian fighter, and they've got it in Weili Zhang.
Yeah, the Asian MMA fighters never travelled well over the US. They did well when they did cards over there, but when they came over to the US, they never travelled well. Weili Zhang is just an absolute monster. I think, if you look at the fight and you look at, like, say, reach, Rose has the bigger reach than Weili Zhang. Could utilise that. I just think that Weili Zhang is just so fast, so precise, so strong. And like I say, she's got one hell of a shot on her. A lot of power in her punches. I think she's going to get inside Rose Namajunas, and I think it'll end up in a TKO, and I'll probably say 4th round.
An absolutely stacked UFC 261 this weekend. Looking very much forward to it. Chris, I'm sure, as well. Absolutely can't wait for that.
Yeah.
I think we've got a little segment here now, Chris. Mm-hmm. Chris Hume's betting tips. So back to Usman and Masvidal 2. Where are you seeing it going? What round? And what are your betting tips for the viewers?
Oh, God, you're going to get an angry fork of people at my door on Monday morning, aren't you?
Rich has posed this to you, this segment.
I know.
I said before you came on camera in the green room, I was like, let's not tell him and just do it. So, yeah.
Oh, bastards. Right, okay. So, Usman Masvidal. I'll give you the winner will be Usman, and it will be by TKO in the 3rd round. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder what the odds are on that, but yeah. Okay. 3rd round TKO for Usman. He's going to do it in style, as Chris said. Do you want to cover the ladies quickly?
Yeah, you can do.
Yeah, go on. Shevchenko and Andrade, mate.
I think Shevchenko Andrade is going to be a close fight. It could be an open bet here because Andrade does have a lot of power, and she just swing wildly, but she is very precise with her strikes. She could catch Shevchenko, but I just think Shevchenko's an elite champion. I think this fight will go to unanimous decision, but it won't be a split. It'll be a complete win for Shevchenko. So I'd say Shevchenko, UD.
Shevchenko from Chris there, if you like a bet. And then we're going to go with Weili Zhang versus Rose Namajunas. Don't be fooled by Rose Namajunas' 10-4 record, though, as well. 10-4, but look who she's fought. look who the girls fought as well. But heavy favourite, Miss Whaley, on Saturday, Sunday morning here. So yeah, Chris.
Yeah, 100%. I'm going to go for a vsliang finish, and I'm going to go for a TKO. I don't see any knockouts in the 3 title fights, but I'm going to go for a fifth round TKO, because I think she's going to absolutely batter Rose Namajunas to the 5th round, and I think that's when Rose is going to be a bit tired, and vsliang's got a gas tank for days, and she's going to zoom through with them.
The first edition of Chris's betting tip of the week tips. We've gone with tips on it for this week because they're all title fights, and I think it's perfect time now, Chris. Thanks for that. Viewers' comments, Mr. Producer Rich, fire him up, man. Let's have him. Let's see what people have been saying. We had Brett earlier. Carnage Pain. Any news on Jeff? Jeff from London's Burning is on annual leave. His friend said the other day he's visiting family in Stockport. Did you watch London's Burning back in the day?
I remember it, like when we lived in Port Road in Colwyn Bay as a kid. Yeah, Mum and Dad used to watch it like every Sunday. It was on, wasn't it?
Blue watch and red watch on it and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it was a good show actually, wasn't it? Both quite.
I remember there's an episode where they had like. The shop got burnt down and all that.
I'm sure there would have been fire.
I think I vaguely remember.
London's Burning. Didn't Games and Craps have this as well?
Yes, it did. I was in the chat. I was in the chat for that one. Yeah.
Guys, what did you think of the play-by-play on that Jake Paul fight? Well, Snoop was getting stoned. There's a lot of effing and jeffing. I mean, I'm no, I swear like the next man, like a drunken Irish sailor myself, but a bit too much swearing, bit too much shouting and screaming going on for my liking on the commentary.
I just thought it was abysmal. I think, unfortunately, it's here to stay, and we cannot battle it no matter how much we dislike it. The thriller is here to stay because they're making the dollar. I don't like the commentary. I thought Snoop Dogg was an absolute arsehole. The whole 2 million, going crazy about winning 2 million. Keep it professional in a way, like, what I mean? We're still watching fights.
And they're having like bands and artists on as well, aren't they, performing on the shows as well? These YouTubers could take boxing over with their own title soon. Rambo, the day that happens, I'm done. I'm spent. Also, I'll just going back to proper pro boxing. I would just have one belt per division as well. I've said it all along. I don't like all the boxing boards, but it's never going to happen. But in an ideal world, just one belt for each division. Sorry, Chris. Back to you, mate.
No, the YouTubers have got a belt. They've got the YouTube title, which KSI currently resides in his bedroom. There you go. Carnage Pain. Put Mike Tyson in to face Jake Paul.
100%. Blast him into the next stratosphere. Absolutely.
Bite his bloody ear off in the process.
Make it long and painful as well. Carnage Pain, long and painful for Mike Tyson on Jake Paul. I don't want him just to blast him out. Jake Paul against Conor McGregor is the next big fight. Not going to happen, Brett. I mean, I know you obviously want to. Brett, you want to see it.
I don't think it's off the cards. I just don't think at this very point in time Conor's losing any money that he needs to fight Jake Paul. He's just saying he loses to Dustin Poirier in a few months, but we'll get to that when we get closer by, when we preview and review it. I think what's next for Conor, if he loses Dustin, he will face Nate Diaz, because them two are on fire with each other on Twitter at the moment, and they're still arguing with each other. Jake Paul, his biggest fight is KSI. It is 100% KSI. That is the money fight for him.
It's the next progression, isn't it? KSI, absolutely. El Sakano, how are you, mate? All good? El Sakano, all good. And yes, so yeah, Brett, I just don't like the Pauls. Ranello is best play-by-play guy. Yeah, he's up there. He's definitely up there. But I was a big Gorilla Monsoon fan, and then obviously Bobby Heenan on the colour. Didn't know he did WWE either until I bought the network. Well, yeah. He was on NXT. He was on SmackDown. Something happened, didn't it? I won't go into that. I saw the Frank Warren doc the other day. It was really good. Mark, I'm with you on that. Brilliant. Did you manage to watch it all in the end, Chris?
I have done it now, yeah. I didn't fall asleep, so it was great.
It was fantastic. What great hour and a half. What a life he's led. And he's done it on his own terms, Frank Warren, as well.
He has, to be fair.
People were knocking him years ago. when he was coming through, but he stood the test of time. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The only way I would accept the fight between Tommy Love Island Fury is if he faces Logan instead. Same card as Fury and AJ. Boost buy rate as long as Tyson and AJ give 35%. Yeah, but Rambo, they don't deserve to be on the cards. They don't deserve to be on a pro boxing card. I'm sorry.
They've got their own now. They've got Thriller. They can stay on Thriller. And yes, Connor's Payne, football is a disgrace.
It's
get those greedy bastards out of the league.
I just can't see it. I know we'll segue into the football bit here. I just think Pep's threatened to leave City if it goes through.
I've heard Klopp is doing this.
They'll be outraged. It's greedy people at the top. It's not for the fans, number one. Number two, it's talking billions. Powered 4 Entertainment. Thanks, everyone, for watching and joining. Thanks, Stu, Chris. Happy birthday, Stu, for tomorrow. London's burning.
Maybe you should watch a couple of episodes. I bet you'll find it on YouTube, eh?
Thank you very much for having me on earlier as well on Added Time. John, enjoyed that. I love that intro, Stu. Let's see that intro again, Stu. Chris's betting tips. We'll put I'll have to make something and we'll play it every week.
God's sake.
Please gamble responsibly, John Scott. Absolutely. Yeah, don't want to be getting in trouble and owing the IRS money. Well, not all.
And don't get angry with me when the bets don't come through.
Don't put more than a £5 on or a £10 on. Just be safe out there. Anyone know where you see old Lewis Holyfield era fights? DAZN. I've signed up to DAZN. I watched Andrade and Liam Williams on there. $1.99 a month. You can have 2 devices on at the same time. They've got a lot of old fights on there. They've got a lot of old fight footage that you can watch. Loads of fights. I would say YouTube, but it's probably up there illegally, so I wouldn't condone that one. But yeah, Mark, DAZN is worth signing up in the UK for. Agree with Stu about Snoop. Yeah, it's just ranting and raving. It's not good. It's not good. Great show, Chris and Stu. Cheers, Brett. I know we don't agree about the polls, Brett, but no, thank you. We love your comments. Thank you. Fan interactivity and listener viewer interactivity is what we want.
I love the Big Fight Weekly community. Keep us going. I want to do this feature for you guys so you can get your comments in. I want to feel a part of the show, that you are a part of the show with me and Stu. It's not just us. It's you guys as well.
I turned them across all the live shows that we do here on Powered 4. I said they are the Powered 4 TV ultras. Are people who are consistently on every week watching the show.
Yeah, they are.
We appreciate it.
Definitely.
Without you guys, there's no show. We need the view for. There's no show on Rich and John's end when they're producing as well. If they don't pump the graphics in, we're screwed. Chris, where can the viewers find you? Happy birthday! Yeah, thank you. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Looking forward to the rest of the week. Got lots planned for the birthday week. Sorry, Chris.
Fine, but what we have to? I don't know. I've lost train of thought.
You were going to say something, and then I said, "Where can they find you?" You had something to say before that.
I don't know. I just think it's gone up my head now.
Sorry, mate. I was blasting loads of information at you.
No. What are you doing for your birthday?
Tomorrow we're going over to England to go and eat out.
England.
And we're going because obviously you can go outside and eat out there in
You'd
Wales.
be like this, wouldn't you? Be like, hey.
20 can't do it here till the 26th, can we, Chris? Outside in Wales.
No,
and Chester on Wednesday because it's Karis's birthday on Wednesday, day after. And then got a hot tub coming over the weekend and stuff like that. So there we go. Yeah, just
no tomfoolery in that.
Behave myself, but also adhering to outside rules, numbers of people being around. You've got to be careful with these things. But yeah, gonna have a good rest of the week doing that.
Good.
Chris, where can we find you in terms of the socials, my friend, my cousin?
You can find me at Van Hume on Twitter. You can find me at VanHume86 on Instagram. Find me also, again, on Big Fight Weekly's Powered 4 page. You'll find me there. I do post, interact with me. I'm happy to have a good conversation with you.
I'm Stu Palmer, and I'm StewieP1 on the Twitter. Stu's Wrestling Podcast, no apostrophe on Stu's at the end there on Instagram, and then Stu's Wrestling Podcast on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook as well with another account, a few other accounts going on there as well. Also, I had something to finish with, and I've brain farted now as well.
You're an old bastard.
We're back. That's it. We're back next Tuesday. 6 p.m. It was just because it's the birthday week. We've done it a day earlier. It might have caught people off guard, but I'm sure people will watch back because this will be available straight after.
Well, they bloody better.
So Episode 9 is in the books, Chris. Thanks ever so much again, co-hosting with me. And we're back next Tuesday, 6 p.m. on Powered 4 TV. Big Fight Weekly. We'll see you for episode 10 next Tuesday.
See you later.
6 p.m.